Welcome to our second episode of WHV this year.
Yeah, I hope everyone's making the best of these last few days of the trimester. Exams are coming up after the Thanksgiving break.
I know, don't remind me.
There's been a few things happening here over the past few weeks.
That's right. If you haven't noticed, there are some new art near the main entrance. It was designed and built by students working with an artist in residence here. Hill J has the story. Let's take a look.
On the week of October 24th, artist Kim Bernard visited Winnacunnet to teach about the importance of recycling. Wait, what is that? What's going on? Well, let's find out. Bring an empty jug, cut it into pieces, put it into the shredder, shred it into tinier pieces, throw it into extruder, plastic bits melt into a bendable tube. The artist stated that her and Miss Pagano had been in a conference back in May discussing the idea of turning marine debris into art and was finally able to do the project with students.
I hope people start to take a look at how much plastic is in our world and how it's everywhere, from containers that we have food in to our clothing like polyester, rayon, nylon is all plastic, and being more aware of how harmful it can be to our environment. It takes energy and fuel and people power to recycle, so it's best to reduce our consumption of materials like anything that requires plastic, for example, rather than using a single-use water bottle, not having to recycle because you haven't used that plastic in the first place. Using less and then recycling what we can.
I really loved having visiting artists come to the school to work with us. It's kind of like having a field trip, but even while we stay here at school, and it was a really great group project, a group effort, and I think it's nice because students see that when we all kind of pitch in and work together, we can accomplish a really big project. I thought it was an awesome experience and memorable, and I hope to have more visiting artists come in the future.
Nonetheless, it was a pretty cool thing to see. For WHTV, I'm Hill J.
Cool way to reuse things. That came out great.
True. Hey, did you catch the fall play, Radium Girls?
No, I missed it, but I heard it went pretty well.
It did. I played the part of a reporter, and I think I was typecast. Anyways, Molly was there on opening night and has a story on how things went.
Last weekend, the WHS Theater presented their fall play titled Radium Girls. The drama is based on a true story about women working with radioactive paint in factories during World War I.
Well, girls, this paint you've been playing with, it's very expensive. Do you realize this? It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium.
It was shown on Friday, November 4th and Saturday, November 5th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, November 6th at 2 p.m. Auditions for the play began in early September, and since then, the cast and crew have worked very hard to put the show together. Mr. Moore, who's been directing the plays here for 7 years and the musicals for 8, says that this play was probably his favorite play to direct.
I think here it's not only dealing with just directing the show, but producing the show, doing programs, tickets, scheduling, monitoring, behavior. There's just so many layers to it, so many different jobs.
What's the favorite part?
It's this part right here. Seeing the kids afterwards and how proud they are of their efforts, that's the best part.
I was also able to speak with some of the members of the cast and crew.
I played the society woman, but her real name is Cora Middleton.
Welcome all, welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, please limit your questions.
We have been rehearsing for, I want to say, 2-ish months? Yeah, I would say 2 months. Don't count on that, but that might be the answer.
So I was Edward Markley, the lawyer and counsel for the United States Radium Corporation.
Mr. Barry, you must object to this kind of histrionics.
I had nothing to do with that, Mr. Markley.
I've been in this game a long time, Mr. Barry. And when I see a story like this move over the wires, I'm not so naive as to believe that the plaintiff's attorney had nothing to do with it.
We had some hiccups, but we actually recovered really well, honestly. I really have to give it to the tech crew for putting in all the effort and doing it. It was great. Hi, Allie.
I played Grace Fryer. You know, you learn how to cover when you're on stage. That's just the business.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
The same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers, and this one has little flowers. So pick one.
Is this some kind of test?
It's not a test, it's just wallpaper.
This is some kind of test.
It's gotten better every day so far this week. It's definitely, it's more fun every time we do it.
I played Madame Curie and Mrs. Reader. Did your husband do it? Did he poison those women? I said, Mrs. Cowes, if you think such a thing, then why would you speak to me at all? I would never associate with a woman whose husband did such things.
We rehearsed a very long time, and we've come a very long way, but genuinely the show came together and we did a very good job together as a cast. It took a lot, but it came through and it was very good.
Congratulations to the cast and crew for putting on an amazing show together.
This is Molly Frost in the Winnicott Auditorium for WHTV.
I can't wait for the spring musical.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors. Great movie. It'll be great.
Yeah, I agree. So, in other stories of greatness, recently, faculty and administrators here played against the Unified soccer team, and they lost big time. The Unified team were up against some big players that included the principal, Mr. McGowan, and the superintendent, Mrs. Nato. But, try as they might, they were not enough to win. The Unified soccer team is in its second season, and according to Coach Albert, the goal this year was to build friendships and soccer skills. He says that the team was amazing this year, and congrats to all of the players.
Nice win. Earlier this trimester, the Naval Shipyard was meeting with students about opportunities available there. Owen was there and he has us the story.
On October 18th, workers from the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard paid a visit to Winnicott to tell us a little bit about what they do at the shipyard and share the different opportunities that are available for high school graduates. The Portsmouth Naval Shipyard boasts a strong apprenticeship and engineer recruitment program. The apprenticeship pays $20 an hour and you get taught a trade at the same time. At the shipyard, there are multiple shops, each in charge of something different, but all equally important to keeping the submarines in working order. In Code 135, they are in charge of testing the welds on the submarines to see if they are strong enough. They use radiography as one way to test the welds.
So I'm in Code 135. We do non-destructive testing and inspections on all the welds that hold the submarines together. So we have a couple different methods, like we do radiography, for example. If anybody's ever had an X-ray before, we'll expose a radioactive isotope to the welds and we'll put film behind it and it'll show us exactly what's happening on the inside of that weld. See if there's any sort of indications that might lead to that weld breaking when it's exposed to pressure, because the submarines, they do dive underwater and they're exposed to great amounts of pressure when they're under there. We want to make sure they come back up.
Working at the shipyard has a lot of different amenities, like an on-site hospital, a sushi bar, 2 grocery stores, and a lot of paid holidays.
So, shipyard culture is pretty cool. There's a lot of amenities. We have our own hospital. We have our own sushi bar. We have a couple food trucks. There's even 2 grocery stores as well. So there's careers aplenty. And it's great. I mean, we get a lot of paid holidays off. We get, more vacation time than I've ever seen in any job that I've ever had.
Shop 31, which is the inside machining shop, is in charge of machining, which is the process of removing material from different objects to meet the required geometry. They use tools like 2-axis lathe and milling machines to remove the materials.
So my name is Tiffany. I work with Shop 31, which is the inside machine shop at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. And what that means is machining is actually a process of removing material in order to achieve a required geometry.
If you're interested in working in the shipyard, you can take an apprenticeship test at Great Bay Community College to begin your application process. From WHTV, this is Owen Kroner.
I don't know if you follow politics or not.
Not a ton.
Well, it did give us a day off last week with the midterm elections happening and all.
Now that I pay attention to.
Something cool happened in the state just south on election day 2. Massachusetts elected its first female and openly lesbian governor last week, and she also happens to be a graduate at Winnicott High School. Maura Healy, who graduated from here in 1988, had been working as the Attorney General in Massachusetts and decided to make a run for the governor's office and won. If you want to know more about her, check the link in the description for a story WHTV did on her a few years ago.
Wow, one day she could be the president. Well, that's all we have for you today, Winnicott. We'll see you next trimester.
See you later.